Welcome back, everybody. It is another Monday evening here. I am Clint. Hope you guys are enjoying your, first day of the week. Hope you guys had a good weekend. And of course, we're here to talk about all things 2A, firearms related, all that type of fun stuff. So make sure you comment in the chat. Let us know what you guys are thinking, what's up, and all that type of fun stuff. And without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right into it. And don't forget, a lot of chats come through. And I may not get to yours exactly, but I do try my best to get to a lot of them, if not all of them. And the super chats show up really bright and make it very easy for me to see. So if you want your question answered, send a super chat. Not saying you have to, but just saying it's a good idea. Anyway, with that being said, again, welcome all. Tonight I've got my Blackout Coffee Company mug again with some good Lafroig. You guys know that Scotch. Chat with me there. Cheers to all of you joining in, and let me know what are you guys drinking with me tonight. All right. Anyway, I want to kick this one off. I saw a couple of comments already as we were kind of waiting for everything to launch, and I saw one gentleman ask Echo on YouTube, 2011 or 1911, which one is better? Which is a interesting question when you ask about which one is better, because sometimes you got to think capacity, but then you got to think about caliber, things like that. Like, I am a firm believer that 45 ACP is better than 9mm. However, 15 to 20 rounds of 9mm is a lot better than 8 to 10 than a 45, right? So I like that concept. But 2011s are also kind of notorious for having shitty mags and failing, right? So I have right behind me that you guys might see here on my shelf, my 1911. That's my Colt railgun, chambered in 45 ACP. I love that pistol, and it was one of the first ones I actually ever bought, and I've had it for, I think it's probably been close to almost 10 years now, which is pretty interesting. So yeah, that's fun. Anyway, we are streaming tonight on YouTube, Twitch, my Facebook, because Classic Firearms Facebook, we got slapped again. I don't know why. We always get zucked, and then we go and we pretty much appeal it, and we win. So, and then we get our Facebook page back. But, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I don't know. Anyway, we are streaming on Rumble also. So if you guys are watching on Rumble, appreciate you guys tuning in. I'll make sure I get to you guys' chat and everything else in the comment section there. And let's go ahead and get back into the chat. I see a couple of you guys already commenting and everything, and I appreciate you guys tuning in. Again, always good to see y'all. Good to hang out. I think a lot of you guys like to hear me get riled up too when it comes to the ATF and all the bullshit that they pull and all that type of fun stuff. But this week's been pretty chill, right? I don't know. There's always something going along. And I see a couple of you have had experiences with 1911s, but not so much 2011s. And one of you guys made this comment, Still City. Good to see you. And I like your little logo. Where is it? Right there. There it is. I would not be a good weatherman. I can't figure out where to point and all that type of stuff. Anyway, I want to check out one of those Platypus 2011s. And, they were one of the last people I interviewed at the NRA annual meet this year. It wasn't SHOT Show. It was NRA. And I think, yeah, it was NRA for sure, because I remember. Okay. Anyway, and it's a really interesting design. Imagine a 2011 that takes Glock magazines, and Glock magazines are notoriously reliable. So that's pretty cool. I got to play with it a little bit at the NRA annual meet, and I was very impressed. And so Stealth Arms, I believe, is the name of the company or the manufacturer. I do believe I'm going to be reaching out to them again, double checking, seeing how they're doing, and maybe getting one into the shop, to the warehouse to check out. I think that'd be pretty cool, right? Also, I see you there, Roberto, on Rumble. 1911 just ran some drills with my 45 ACP over the weekend. Good job. Cheers to you. Get outside, run those drills, waste some ammo. It's not a waste. If you're running drills and not just mag dumping into trash, that's not a waste. So good on you, Roberto. Oh, man. Let's see here. Keith, saw that this is actually a pretty cool thing. You want a Springfield Armory 1911 at an NRA event, best $10 I ever spent. Yeah, I don't blame you not one bit. That is pretty awesome. Springfield Armory does make some really nice 1911s. Their TRPs are sweet. So yeah, you definitely made out there. That's awesome, Keith. Congratulations to you. See, Actid on Rumble. Just shot my Canik TP9. Great shooting. Still wanting my FN 510 and reflex. The all Canik pistols are freaking awesome. They run so damn good, and their triggers are fantastic. And the FN 510 is one that I'm waiting for. I am really waiting for. Oh, it's Alaska Ted. My bad. Anyway, don't hate on me too bad. All right. So that makes sense though. Oh man. Let's see here. Let's get a couple more of you guys down here. I see quite a few of them coming in. Last week, the stream went really well. We didn't have any technical issues or anything. I got everything from Rumble. The Rumble stream stayed up. I should probably be knocking on wood right now or wherever. And on top of that, I got to see all of the YouTube comments and everything as well. But I've got everything up just in case I miss anything. All right. So just wanting to let you guys know. Feel free to chat away down there. Still City, what's up with you as well? Thanks for tuning in. By the way, some of you guys might not recognize the shirt that I have on. This is vintage classic firearms. That's right. I don't think you can find too many of these shirts. This is our old logo that Ben, I think, designed way back when he started the company. It's got a real classic design to it, don't you think? Let me know if you guys think we should do like a limited run of the vintage logo and stuff like that. All right. I think it'd be kind of cool. I'm just saying. All right. So there you go. All right. Let's see here. Let's get to a couple more. We've talked about this issue everywhere, dude, saying, Clint, what do you think about the P320 allegedly going off on its own? Allegedly. There's also been a lot of cases where this has been kind of dismantled also. Again, hey, I like SIG. I like a lot of the products they put out there. The 365X macro, I'm a big fan of. I haven't had any of the rust issues with mine, and I carry it all the damn time. And it's not like I really take good care of it. So, there's that. Anyway, I will say that I don't know. I don't think it's actually as bad as it's being made out to be. I think the media definitely wants to attack SIG for a lot of things because, well, they're a very large manufacturer of firearms and they sell a lot to the public. Thanks, SIG. Even those contract guns that we like to play with, right? So, I haven't seen a lot of actual issues when it comes to the 320, I've seen the issues, but as far as the circumstances in which they just go off by themselves or whatever, off-body carry was one of the issues. Somebody digging around in a purse and some other piece of equipment, whether it be whatever else in the bag, gets lodged between the trigger and the trigger guard. That's bad, right? Or how about whenever it's law enforcement or whatever, that Canadian special operations, whatever it is, they go to draw it and okay, now all of a sudden it looks like their trigger or their trigger finger was on the trigger as they were drawing, going full Serpo with it or something like that. So, there's issues like that. I know very controversial figure in the Second Amendment to a gun tuber world, the Yankee Marshal actually puts out videos all the time about this issue, and I think they're pretty good. So, there's that. But look, I run my 320. This guy right here. Let me move the mic out of the way. There you go. Can't really see it, but this thing is dirty. It is. I just rotated my whole tree there. I mean, whatever. Anyway, that thing is dirty. I haven't cleaned it. I've oiled it. Haven't cleaned it. I have dropped it, believe it or not, and it's actually on camera, and it didn't just go off. How about that, right? So I don't know. My experience is the damn things work. All right. So there you go. Smart Shooters LLC. Good to see you there. Rostic Arms in the house. I'm excited to try out your stuff, man. This is Daryl Rostic. That's in the live stream. Good to see you, man. And I've been watching your Instagram stories and everything, and it looks like you're making a quality product. I'm excited to try it, and I'll give you my feedback about it, man. So that'll be exciting. All right. Let's see here. Oh, Mike Olson coming in with a good question here. What does everyone think about the pistol brace issue? Do you think it will get shot down? It looks like it's still standing. I mean, it's kind of like not being talked about anymore because there's so many other things coming up and aliens. It's it's actually a really difficult thing to kind of figure out. I don't know. It seems like the Supreme Court does a lot of good things recently, and then they do something else that's just kind of like, what the hell is that? Right? Like the frame and receiver ruling, stuff like that. I don't know. That's a really good question about whether or not. I don't think it will. But then again, I'm very pessimistic when it comes to our rights and the government, because I don't think they give a shit at the end of the day. They want to limit you on what you own, what ultimately you can do. So, there's all that. DJ Pitster, woohoo! I see you, man. Not to mention, good chance China is invading. So, yeah, I mean, who knows, right? So there you go. By the way, on Rumble, strategic missed calls. That's a good one. I like it. Every practice always ends in a mag dump. Some of my guns have triggers that ask for it. Nice. That sounds really good. Are you talking about, like just really clean, crisp single stage or good 2-stage triggers? Is that what you're talking about? You wouldn't be talking about those damned FRTs that are pretty much machine guns, right? That was sarcasm, by the way. They're not machine guns. You know what a machine gun is? A machine gun, not a trigger. All right. Anyway, let's see here. J-Ho, sorry, man. Hey, Clint, you make me proud to be an American. Thank you for all you do. You make our country a better place to be. Well, I appreciate that. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not, but I do appreciate that. That means a lot. So if you guys, are in agreement to that, thank you so much. Go out and, fuck it, waste some ammo, go do a mag dump in honor of that. Okay, there you go. Gio, good to see you, man. Giovanni Orozco, what's up, Clint? How you doing? I'm doing well, man. Down here in the bunker with, by the way, my plate carrier has had some modifications. This is the Guard Dog Body Armor Tracker, and I just wanted to say there's a website out there. I've gotten there. It's called the Spitfire. I think it's Mark II. There's from direct action. It's called the Spitfire plate carrier, and they make really cool cummerbunds, and they make the cummerbunds with the inserts for a reasonable price too. They give you the MOLLE attachments on the sides, but also in addition to that, there is a Velcro pocket that allows you to put in some side armor. So I got the Guard Dog Body Armor 6x8 side plates in there now, and the whole kit minus loaded mags and stuff like that, with the placard, which doesn't add much weight whatsoever because it's just piece of material. It's placarding, is 24 pounds now, and that's the M4 plus or the level 4 plus plates in the tracker, and with the 6x8 side plates now. I just got done just a little bit before the stream with a mile run with that on. It took me damn 10 minutes just to run a mile, but hey, I'm getting there. In fact, I talked with Kaya over the weekend, and we're thinking about actually running one of the tactical games or one of the proving grounds. I think that's usually out at the Sawmill, which is closer to us anyway. So I think we'll probably go with that. And it's more shooting focused and running like a team classic firearm. So it's giving me something to work towards as far as my physical fitness goes, instead of just, training towards another combat fitness test or a physical fitness test for the Marines or anything like that. So it's giving me something else to work towards. And if you've seen Kaya, this dude's got muscles on top of his muscles. And so I got to catch up, you know what I mean? But anyway, so I think it's also a good time to talk a little bit about, and I'll get back to you guys' chat here in just a moment, but something else to kind of think about is you can have all the guns, all the gear, all the equipment, all the cool shit, right? Well, one PVS 14 with somewhat decent green vision capabilities is fine. There's a lot of better stuff out there, but you're going to pay for it, right? Physical fitness is a big deal, right? again, having all of this shit is a lot of fun and it's really cool. But the moment you start putting it on, I mean, step on and off the scale, right? Go ahead and just put your everyday attire on, step on the scale. You see how much added weight that is already if you're just, going from wearing your boxers onto the scale, right? Added weight there. Now all of a sudden you add your plate carrier, 24 pounds. You add your helmet. Damn, that's about anywhere 8 to 12 pounds, somewhere in there, sitting on top of your head. Hello, neck strain. And then you've got your battle belt on top of that on your hips, which that could be about, I don't know. I'm going to weigh everything eventually and I'll get back to you guys, but don't sleep on physical fitness. Go for a run, do some push-ups, something like that. Because at the end of the day, you can have all the Gucci shit, but if you can't wear it for any amount of time without getting fatigued, you're going to just become another casualty and somebody's going to they're just going to clap your cheeks and they're going to get your loot drop, AKA all your Gucci shit that you spent a lot of money on instead of going to the gym. All right. So rant over. And the reason I'm telling you guys that is so I can hold myself accountable, because obviously I like to have a drink. Okay. And the beer gut proves it. So I got to get out there and run too. Okay. So anyway, I'm right there with you guys. Tanner, I see you, man. Welcome again. Good to see you. 10 millimeter 1911 sexy T-sauce makes an affordable 10 mil 1911 that is absolutely gorgeous. We featured it on the channel before. Check that out. All right. Gucci Goat 5190. Clint, give me a job. I want your life. Let me just say this, man. Appearances aren't everything. All right. I'll leave it off there. Okay. Frank, good to see you, man. Thank you for tuning in. I'm doing well. How are you tonight? I hope you are doing well. I see you guys on Rumble too. Let's drop the focus on braces and be ready for the China invasion. DJ Pitster. Yeah. If you're going to be ready for an invasion, you got to kit up, get the ammo, get the stockpile of everything that you might need, and get the physical fitness going. All right. So there you go. I don't think it's a rumor, Aiden. Aiden Finney is talking about, hear the rumor that B&T is going to make an MP7 clone. They made it in 380, right? Isn't it in like 380 or something like that? Or am I thinking about something else? I don't remember. Anyway, it looks cool. I can't remember if it was actually on B&T's social media that I saw it or somebody else leaking something. Thank God for those guys out there leaking all the cool stuff. But yeah, I don't know if it's a rumor. I think it's going to happen. I mean, if HK isn't going to bring it to us, B&T probably will, because it seems like they actually love us. You know what I mean? So there you go. On Twitch, Big Val 70. What's up, Devil Dog? What's up with you, Simplify, man? All right. Let's see. Blue Liberty. I believe the term is AFT. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. I need another thing of ice cream or whatever. Okay. Now, John Luke has got a good idea here. And I see a super chat up here waiting for me too. I'll get up to you here in just a moment. But he's saying Nighthawk Customs giveaway, talking about 1911 versus 2011, all that type of stuff. Nighthawk makes some badass 1911s. If we were to do a 1911 feature at cfcontest.com, we actually, the very first video that I ever did was on a M45 1911. That's the Marine Corps Marsoc pistol, sidearm. That thing was cool. I really wish we didn't get rid of it, actually. But yeah, Nighthawk Customs, that would be pretty spicy if you ask me. All right. So there you go. Anyway, let's see here. Keith, I see you again. Study Betsy Ross flag. Yes. Let me get over here to the super chats. Nate's memes. Have you heard Tom McDonald new track American Flag? I have not heard that. So I guess, I'll check it out and, I'll get back to you on that, Nate. So thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate the support, man. Thank you. Tanner, wife and I will be going to Charlotte from Minnesota, October 3rd. If I could speak, October 31st to November 5th. We'd love to meet up with you, man. There's a lot of breweries around. So Tanner, I think we've DM'd on Instagram, stuff like that. Hell, if scheduling works out and everything, let's do it. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Thank you for the super chat, Tanner. I appreciate it. And I'll give you this $5 right back when I buy you a beer. Russian colluder. How come the average cartel foot soldier has cooler kit than me? Have you seen what kind of money they're making? P.S. Kaya does 100 push-ups before coming on video to look swole. I'm catching on to him. You know, he hasn't admitted that, but I'm sure he does. Kudos for him for doing 100 push-ups, however. All right. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, if you guys have seen a lot of the videos coming out of Mexico, coming out of all these different South American countries, stuff like that, you'll see that, yes, a lot of these cartels have really good weaponry. I mean, some of the kit that they have is fantastic, and they got it all from the ATF, from the United States government specifically. So just keep that in mind, okay? And that's not a conspiracy theory. I mean, Fast and Furious was a real damn thing that happened that actually got one of the Border Patrol agents killed with one of the United States American-made guns that was sent to the cartel under the ATF's supervision, okay? So you want to know why these ultimately terrorist and criminal organizations have better things that what you and I can't legally own, right? It's because the United States government gave it to them. I mean, the United States government makes everything worse. I mean, look at the war on drugs. Look at prohibition. Look at the war on terror. Okay. Anytime the United States government gets involved in anything, they exponentially increase the issue. Name a point in time where that is wrong? Like literally in one operation, one point in our lives, or in this country's life where that's wrong. You know what I mean? So there you go. Black Walnut Arms, King Base is back. Appreciate it, man. So there you go. Oh, man. Oh, Robert Stewart. Look, man, he's saying repeal the Second Amendment. And I just want to go ahead and say right now, if you're here to troll, bring it. All right. But I will just say, look in recent history, such as 1995, when Australia introduced gun control countrywide and enforced it massively. Hopefully you're just, being sarcastic here. But I will say that you've got to look at the book. Zellman, I think is the name of the author, Death by Gun Control. I actually did an entire project on this in high school, my senior exit project at Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. I still actually have the paper. I might even post it up one day. It's literally called The Negative Effects of Gun Control. I wrote it my senior year of high school at Charlotte-Mecklenburg School System, and I got a perfect score on it. My presentation, I think I got like a 98. My paper, 100. I couldn't believe it, right? My English teacher, Dr. Felder, I know she's not watching. She did not like me. She couldn't believe it either. So, I think it's pretty funny that a lot of people say repeal the Second Amendment or, introduce gun control, do this, do that. But throughout the course of history, anytime the government has the monopoly on violence and they introduce gun control and they ban all the private right or the private ownership of firearms, usually mass crime takes place. And it's usually by the very government that just banned said firearms. So I'm not going to say anything more on that. All right, cool. So Iron Phoenix, good evening from Louisiana. Good to see you. Appreciate it. And we've got another super chat over here. Thank you so much. Bam, Brandon Melendez. What's a good barrel length for 6.5 Grindle in an AR-15 configuration? Also, what are your thoughts on the Canik Mate MC9 so far after the video? First of all, the Canik Mate MC9, I still love it. I still shoot it often, and I still carry it. I co-carry it with my SIG 365 macro. If I want, I've explained in the past kind of a little bit about, what are the situations or what are the circumstances that I carry. Which one gun I prefer over the other. Again, if I'm making, like an all day, trip and I don't know exactly the areas that I'm going in and stuff like that. And I want all the tools necessary to me, including capacity, then I'm going to go with the macro. If I want something, it's going to be shorts and a t-shirt, run into the grocery store, then yeah, I'm just going to put in the MC9 really quick. You know what I mean? So there you go. 6.5 Grindle. I'll be honest with you. I don't know a whole lot about 6.5 Grindle. I know it's a great round, and that's a good Matt question, which I know we couldn't get them last week, and this week we didn't prepare for it. We'll aim for next week. All right. So that's a good Matt question, Brandon. We'll talk about 6'5" Grindle. Stay tuned. All right. Isaiah, thank you for the super chat with that foreign money. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much. Where are you tuning in from? Let me know down in the chat. Appreciate it, Tanner. Appreciate it, man. You've got it. The ADM UIC Mod 2, 14.5, and the core model 13.9 is the only difference, the barrel length. Which one do you recommend? So really it's personal preference, because depending on the muzzle device, you can get both of those pinned and weld to meet that 16-inch minimum requirement needed for it to be considered a rifle and not an NFA firearm, right? So the velocity gained between 13.9 and 14.5, it's not huge, right? If you would like to kind of keep that velocity up, from a 12.5, from an 11.5, from a 10.3, then yeah, go for that 13.9. If you like the idea of the 14.5 and the muzzle device that you're going to have pinned and welded, if you plan on doing that, it's up to you. Then go for the 14.5. If your muzzle device doesn't meet the requirements, the overall length that you might need, right? I think it's like 2.7 versus 2.3 inches. It's very, I can't remember, but anyway, there you have it. I like the idea of the 13.9. It's just a cool factor for me. A little bit shorter, pinned and weld. I think if you're going Surefire, they're 3-prong. I've got it sitting over there. The 3-prong War Comp gets you to that length, and Huxworks makes a QD flash hider also. That's a little bit longer. That'll get you to where you need to be also, which is pretty cool. So Chance Baxter, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. Robert, thank you guys. You guys are awesome, and I appreciate you guys greatly. Thank y'all. And let's get back over here a little bit. Gio, hey man, semi-auto shotgun on a budget recommendations. On a budget. So look, I have shot these a lot and I stand by them. The Panzer M4. It's ultimately the Benelli M4 that we all know and love, but subtract a few $1,000s and you get the Panzer M4. Now, as far as the materials go, I do believe the Benelli will stand the test of time. The Panzer, I don't know. All I know is I've tested the thing. I've shot a lot of rounds to it. I've got a friend of mine, Matt, if you're watching, hey, dude, who purchased a couple of them, and he's been shooting the shit out of them. And he has had zero issues. And so, I think all of that is really, really cool. And I would definitely take a look at the Panzer M4. Again, it's the exact same thing as the Benelli. I don't know about the materials, but it is utilizing that, I forgot what the operating system is called, but it's that dual piston system, which is really, really sweet and runs awesomely. So definitely check that out. All right. Let's see here. Man, you guys are killing it with the super chats. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. JT, thank you, man, for the support. Shorty rifles are cool and have their place, but man, a 20-inch AR-15 is a vibe. Colt makes some excellent clones. They've got is it the A2 clone? No, because those are expensive. It's their base A4 clone with the A2 rail that is a hot seller on the website. People go nuts for it, and it is awesome. What people don't understand is the velocity of the 5.56 cartridge will straight up come and vibe check some body armor, especially with a 55 grain projectile. It gets that velocity way above 3,000 feet per second. You're talking about 32 to 3,300 feet per second, and it moves, right? I mean, depending on brand of the cartridge and the loading and all that type of stuff. But typically a 55 grain is reaching that 3,200 feet per second. And anything over 3,000 feet per second is usually going to be detrimental to a lot of the different types of body armor out there, especially steel plates. All right. So there you go. But you're absolutely right. I do love the FN military collection clone series of the M16A4, because that is exactly what I've been issued, and the M4, and they're just super damn cool. So, check those out. And you're absolutely right, JT. I mean, it is a whole vibe. Short boys are cool, but the long boys are awesome. Chance opinion: Springfield Armory 300 blackout with 7-inch barrel. Which Springfield? What Springfield Armory is there? The St. Victor. Is it the St. Victor 300 blackout little PDW guy? Yeah, I mean, 7-inch barrel is good. Even the Sig Rattler at 5.5 inches is it's cool for 300 blackout and everything, but personally, I love that 8 to 9 inches because that's when you get that full powder burn of the 300 blackout. Granted, you'll get more velocity as the longer the barrel is due to pressures and things like that, and spin, rotation on the projectile. But a 7-inch barrel, like what you're talking about, is just a lot of fun. Having that nice compact boy, especially if you plan on suppressing it. Even still, I kind of like that 8.5 to 9 inch because with suppression, with that full powder burn, you'll have a lot less flash signature as well out of the silencer. So just something to think about. But anyway, yeah, first of all, Springfield Armory also too makes a great rifle. Their Saint, Victor line, things like that are just awesome. They work really, really well. So, I'll take that. And fettuccine. that's great. Kind of make me want to carb load for more cardio, right? Anyway, thoughts on the Honey Badger. The Honey Badger is freaking cool, man. It's the one thing I don't like about the Honey Badger is the muzzle device that comes with it, the cherry bomb. It is concussive, it's thunderous, and it's only good when you're shooting suppressed. There's definitely different flash hiders out there that even with that short barrel, that will do a lot better. But I think it's just in Q's nature to be belligerent and obnoxious. And here's a really cool gun, and we're going to put this on it so that way people turn and look at the gun that you're shooting and they're going to realize that thing's badass. And they're right, it is badass. So the Honey Badger is really cool. We've had the Honey Badger at CF contests a couple of times now, and I wouldn't mind having more of them. You know what I mean? So there you go. Again, thank you guys so much for the super chats. Y'all are freaking awesome. Appreciate it. And coming down over here to Rumble. Oh, man, let's see here. Glad to be able to see you guys on Rumble. HQ JPR 13. Appreciate it. We're happy to be here. Thank you. Let's see. C4 Ninja, Glock 17, or Beretta M9. And I really, really love your videos, but may not be allowed to watch anymore because of the cussing. Can you please keep it down to only 2 to 3 F words a vid, please? All right, I got you. No problem. You can't blame me, though, if I start getting fired up about how corrupt the government is and the ATF and all the bullshit that they're, you see what I mean? And all the stuff that they're pulling, all right? I'll keep it down, but if it slips, I'm sorry, okay? So there you go. Love your videos, but can you please keep it down? Yeah, got it. So Glock 17 or the Beretta M9. So I'm going to lean towards the Glock 17 just because at the end of the day, I think the Glock probably is more reliable than the Beretta M9. As long as you don't do too much crap to the Glock and you actually just kind of leave it alone, maybe replace the trigger if you want something a little bit crisper. I get that. Timney makes a great drop-in replacement. I can't say drop-in, but a replacement for the Glock. And I honestly, the aftermarket support, I think Glock 17 would probably be your best bet. It's also a lighter pistol than the M9. And don't get me wrong, I love the M9. I love the way it shoots. I think the M9 is inherently also more accurate than the Glock, but at the same time, I mean, is it that really big of a difference too? Especially, I mean, it's not like if you're going Glock 17 or M9, my guesses are you're probably not thinking on the competitive side of things. If you were, you'd probably be going Glock 34 or the 92X, and that's a whole different story. I'd go with the 92X in that case, but probably Glock 17 for there. Cody Blees. Hey, Clint, this is Legacy Productions from YouTube, switching to Rumble for the most part because YouTube doesn't like us, but still going to try and support y'all. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. You're awesome. Also, check out my channel, 2A Ways on Rumble and Insta. I have a video on the APF Guardian up and a video on the SIG P365X coming soon. Well, sweet. All right. Thank you, Cody Blees. Also, Legacy Productions on YouTube. Appreciate it, man. DJ Pitster, I need help. I'm looking into the 43X. I want an opinion on the P80 lower, PF9SS, or just Glock OEM. So there's two ways of looking at this. I personally love Polymer 80 and what they've done and allowed people ultimately to build their own pistol, in their bunker if they want to, which I think is really, really neat. And so I always vouch for them and what they do. However, I also really like the idea of just an OEM Glock because of the reliability. So, if you want to get that experience of building it out, things like that, do that. And I think you'll be pretty happy with the P80 in that case. All right. Let's see here. Swamp Fox at SHOT Show is releasing night vision and IR, but nothing since. That is Alaska Ted, AK Ted, not Act Ted. My bad. And Swamp Fox was? I think it was Hollow Sun. I think it was Hollow Sun about the night vision and thermal. I don't think Swamp Fox has dipped their toes into that, because if they did, I would probably have one or two. So Hollow Sun is, I think, who you're talking about, and it's the only reason we haven't really heard much about it is because it hasn't become available just yet. I think they were kind of showing it off at SHOT Show, and we got to shoot it at night, and it was really, really cool, and they did some awesome stuff there. But I think we'll probably see a release of it. I don't even know if it's later this year or next year. I'm sure we'll find out soon, though. All right. So there you go. Flats Jeans, Scotch of Choice. Cheers. Tonight it's my Lafroig. I love that smoky peaty stuff, man. It's great. All right. So there you go. Where's my mouse at here? I got a couple more of the super chats coming in over here. Oh, man. Nick Loscombe, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Off of firearms and onto 2A. One and the same, right? What do we do as a constitutionally abiding citizen? I like how you put that. Constitutionally abiding. When they legally repeal the 2A. It's the easiest thing that is yet been proven to be the most difficult thing to do. Don't comply. Right? As the face of a gun company, as a firearms retailer, a legal firearms retailer, it's really hard to say don't comply, right? Because this is not just my livelihood, but the livelihood of dozens, more than dozens, actually, quite a few individuals. And so we have to comply under the tyrannical rule of the ATF, right? And so it gets very, very difficult. But we as the people, we have to stand up and say enough is enough. I mean, again, I think what a wonderful world it would be if everybody just stood up and said, hey, you know what? I'm not paying my taxes this year. Now, a lot of people might say, oh my God, that would be the collapse of society. That would be the downfall of us all and all this and that. And you get scared because you're relying so much on the government. So stop relying them on so much. Stop relying on McDonald's so much. Stop relying on the grocery stores. Stop relying on so many different things and actually become a little bit more self-sufficient, right? Now, granted, I've got to eat those words too. I got to put my money where my mouth is. And that's why I've made quite a few changes in my life because, and I can't afford anything or everything. But I am making changes because I want to practice exactly what I am preaching. And that is not to rely on the government so much and kind of give them the, in honor of who it was earlier talking about not cussing so much, give them the middle finger and say, no, I don't really care to do that. So when they legally repeal the Second Amendment, if they legally repeal it, it's not legal. Okay. That's all there is to it. It's not legal. And mass noncompliance, and they want to talk about January 6th being an insurrection. That was child's play. This country is capable of a lot more violence and a lot more destruction. And I'm not calling for that by any means. But if you go as far as trying to disarm me where I can't protect me and my family, I can't stand up to the tyrants, at large, whatever, I'm going to be one of the guys rallying. I'll be honest with you. Let's make that march, So mass noncompliance, be vocal about it and get involved with your community. Because I think there's a lot of people that are going to be like-minded that will definitely say, yeah, dude, that's a good idea. Let's not allow this to happen. So that way, if the blue helmets or whatever 3-letter agency comes knocking, the community comes up in your defense, right? So I'm just saying, a lot of people think we can't take on the government. A lot of people think that we're outgunned and that we're outmatched and things like that. And I say to them, what about the past 20 years in Afghanistan? And there's, I mean, it's kind of ridiculous to think about it, but we, the people, are a lot stronger than what they want you to believe. Okay. So again, it just takes actually getting involved to happen. So thank you again for, the super chat, Nick, and everything. And I hope that this live stream is really actually a place for a lot of like-minded people to come together. And even if you're not like-minded, feel free to actually get involved in the conversation. Don't just be a troll. Don't just sit in the comment section and talk shit, right? Sorry for cussing. Bring up your points. And if you come with a valid and good arguable discussion, then that's great, right? But if you're coming just to try to throw a jab here or there, we have no respect for you, and you'll probably get your ass kicked in the real world. You're just a keyboard warrior and a never mind. Anyway, so I'll leave it at that. Okay. But anyway, I hope that makes sense for a couple of you guys out there. But that's pretty much how I feel about that right now. So let's see here. Back to fettuccine. Good to see you. Just bought the honey badger. It's amazing and great for hog hunting. Agreed. People forget the gun is purpose built, and you're right. The cherry jump gives you TBI without a can. Yes, it does. So again, thanks for the super chat, man. And yeah, I mean, it is great, especially for the hog hunting. Put a long boy suppressor on that thing too. Great for night shoot, stuff like that. 300 blackout is just ideal for that, and it does really, really good. So that's awesome. Michael Bear, I built a Arrow 9-inch 300 blackout. What optic red dot would you recommend? Been running backup iron sights. Have been looking into the HS 510C or the Hollow Sun AMS. All of those are great options, and I actually have probably that same upper. It's an Aero Precision 9-inch 300 blackout, and I've got EOTech their 300 blackout reticle on there, and it's great. I love it. But if you're going for something, there's a lot of different options out there, because there's Hollow Sun makes some really good red dots, especially with that shake awake technology. I like that stuff a lot because it really conserves the battery life, and you don't have to worry about your optic just staying on all the time whenever you lay your gun down or set it up against a wall or under your bed or whatever your choice is, or in your safe, whatever. And however you decide to store it. So with that, Michael, again, thanks for the super chat. There's a lot of options. I will say the HS510C is a great one too. I actually have that on my Scorpion, and I really like the HS510C also. So there you go. Both of those are awesome. You got to play with them and kind of figure it out, read up on the specs, battery life, all that type of stuff, what the bodies are made out of and everything. And then you'll probably make up your mind there. So thanks again. 5 to 9, Minnesota Farmer. Good to see you again, man. Need to consider an Alex Pro Firearms Magnum AR and 300 Win Mag 7mm Rec 243 Win or 22 250 for a giveaway. The great Minnesota manufacturer Alex Pro. I want to say we've worked with them in the past, and I wouldn't mind that either. And if we were to be honest, we'll probably go 300 Win Mag. It just, the name inspires excitement. You know what I mean? 300 Win Mag is just, it's a great round, and the only 300 Win Mag offering that we've had at CF Contest has been that Mark 13 Motto, and I loved that gun. That thing was awesome, and I wouldn't mind having another one of those too to play with. So, there you go. But yeah, that's definitely a consideration that we will take a look into. So don't you worry about that. So thank you, 5 to 9 Minnesota Farmer. Appreciate it. And let's get back over here to Rumble really quick. Okay. Yep. So C4 Ninja, you're talking about the Glock 17 or the M9 for like a combat handgun. And yeah, the Glock 17 is going to do everything you need it to do, and it's going to do it well. So there you go. All right. But what is your opinion? So strategic missed calls. What is your opinion on running hunting camo with a kit? Personally looking at Sitka for my environment. Sitka. And actually, If it works, it works. That's all there is to it. And oh yeah, that stuff's cool. I actually really like how that stuff looks. So here's the thing when it comes to camouflage for whatever your kit is, right? You know, you might live in the desert, but you really like how a woodland camouflage looks, or like the M81 or something like that. But that probably wouldn't make sense, right? So maybe don't do that and run with something a little bit more arid, something a little bit more desert like. If where you live is snow a majority of the time, then maybe running multicam black isn't your best idea, right? If you live in an area that's mostly woodland, but you like desert, so on and so forth, right? Make sure whatever it is that you wear, if your idea is to remain objectively unseen, that the camouflage works for your environment, or at least wherever it will be applied, right? I'll never forget 29 Palms for the integrated training exercise, ITX. I can't remember what year it was. I think it was 2017. They made us wear our woodland camouflage uniforms out in the desert for this stick, right? For this group showing up. And I was part of that group. And I just thought to myself, this is ridiculous, because the woodland camouflage is also utilized. Well, it's a little bit thicker than the desert material, and it's a little bit tighter fitting. The desert one is made to breathe a little bit more because you're in a desert climate. Well, whoever thought of that idea, I don't care what your rank is, that was dumb. We had more heat casualties that year than we ever did, and that was a really stupid thing. And with that, don't be like the Marine Corps and do stupid shit. Do what makes sense. And if you just like the way something looks and you do it for fun, do that. But maybe don't let that be your primary kit, if stuff pops off or whatever, okay? So there you go. Greg, hello, buddy. Good to see you, man. Let's see here. Oh man. Let's see. On Twitch, TV Hyrus. There we go. I own an early model P320, and I personally did drop tests on it, pre-recall, and I couldn't get it to go off. I hope you didn't do it with a live round. That would be, no, the way to do the drop test, you pull the actual round and the powder out. So it's just a primer. So that way if the primer gets struck, you get a POW without the violence, right? And well, I mean, if you did your own drop test and you didn't have that issue, then that's great, so awesome. So there you go. Okay. Let's see here. Got oh wait, I can't forget about Rumble. I see you guys, I promise. All right, so there you go. And strategic missed calls, that was my answer to you about running hunting camouflage, things like that. Again, if it makes sense, do it. Absolutely. Right. Adro ASMS, how deep is your bunker buried? Deep enough. I freaking hope. With the stuff I say on this live stream, I'm surprised I haven't gotten a knock on the door yet. I need to just go ahead and get the floor mat that says come back with a warrant. Anyway, just kidding. Any 3-letter agencies? I'm just kidding. All right. Anyway, Cody Blees, hey, Clint, what are the requirements to be considered as part of the gun industry to get a ticket to SHOT Show? Work at a gun shop? Write? Blog? I mean, honestly, if you could, there's a lot. So whenever we have to justify getting our press passes and stuff like that, we go to the SHOT Show register website. We put in who we are. We send the link to all of our social media and say, this is what we do. And it works, right? But then again, we also have a 1.3 whatever figure million following, and have been doing this for years. If you're newer, it might be a little bit more difficult. But what you have to ultimately show is that there's a certain level of consistency covering firearms. If you do that, I don't know if there's a requirement for how large your channel has to be or anything. I don't know. But if you do that, you're at least showing that, hey, this is what you do. You're covering the subjects that are going to be at SHOT Show, and you're going to positively promote, that's the word I'm looking for, SHOT Show and the NSSF and all that stuff. So they'll be happy to probably allow you to get a badge and all that type of stuff. If you just work at a gun shop, you can pretty much go, right? There's other requirements. Again, if you write, if you're a blogger, vlogger, things like that, and you have any proof or citations of your work, then great. You can send all that in and most likely be approved. So there you go. All right. Oh, this is a good one. Nick, hey Clint, what was the first firearm you owned? So this is kind of a twofer, right? Because there's a first firearm I purchased, which was a Ruger Mini 14 Tactical. And the first firearm I owned, like that was like given to me as a gift, was actually, and I still have it, a SIG P238 Diamond. It's a little 380, what am I trying to say? Hammer fired pistol. That's, really cool. And that was given to me by a family member, and, I've kept it. That's something you just don't, that's something you can't part with, you know what I mean? And so that was like, I guess you could say that was the first gun that I, owned. And then I bought a Mini 14, and then the first pistol I ever bought was a Springfield XD. I didn't want a Glock because I didn't want to be like everybody else. And then I got the Springfield and wanted a Glock. But anyway, there you go. Let's see here. Echo, if I had to choose one, 5.56 or 308. That one's rough. What do you guys say down in the chat? Look, I can do everything I need to do with 5.56, and I can carry more of it. Probably 5.56. If I had to think, probably 5.56, just because I'm thinking availability. I'm thinking about how much of it is out there. I'm thinking about all of the different loads, projectiles that are available. It can take down most of the game if you wanted to hunt. Well, I wouldn't say most, but a lot of the game that you need to survive, things like that. It works for protection. But 308 is just so badass. I don't know. I'm still probably going to lean towards 5.56, even though I am a 308 guy and I love 308. All right. So there you go. I see a couple more super chats coming through. Thank you so much, guys. And let's get to here to Brozovic. Do you know if Cerakote is a viable option on an AR build? Does it truly hold up well over time, even compared to anodized? Cerakote does hold up very, very well as long as it's done correctly, right? Some people could say, oh, I can do that in my basement or my garage or whatever, and, for $50, and I'll have it all done for you. And then it looks like crap. You got bubbles and it doesn't last long, right? But if you actually go to somewhere like Weapon Works or whatever, and they do it and they do a phenomenal job, and that stuff, I mean, it'll last forever. Granted, you might see some wear depending on, what you're doing and, where that wear might be, like, the mag opening and stuff like that. So I don't know. Cerakote's a great thing to protect the firearm at the end of the day. I'm for it. And a lot of companies are now actually Cerakoting anyway. You know what I mean? Anodizing is still out there. Bluing is still out there. But Cerakote, I think, is definitely a viable option. Thanks for the super chat, Brozovic. Appreciate it. Tanner just got these built. The 223 is a preferred pre-fit fixed shoulder, 20-inch barrel. Stock is a Mesa Precision. Tika action. 22 is a CZ 457 action with a CZ MTR barrel and a KRG Bravo stock and a 10 trigger. Thoughts on these? Well, there's nothing. There's nothing, Tanner. Everything you mentioned is quality. So thoughts are you did a bang up job. That's all there is to it, man. That's awesome. So keep it going, man, and show it off. All right. That's awesome. So that's great, man. But yeah, it's excellent stuff all around. Jacob Hannikin, thank you for the super chat. Hey, Clint, thanks for all the great content you and the team puts out there. Got a question. 5.56 versus 5.45. After years of shooting both, I prefer 5.45. Might be a good video idea. Yeah, I'm thinking that would be a pretty good video also. 5.45 is fantastic. Matt could tell you guys all day about the poison pill and how effective it is and just how great of a round 5.45 by 39 is. And I agree with him. It is fantastic. And I think a versus video of 556 and 545, me and Matt, kind of go toe to toe would be pretty fun. So stay tuned, Jacob. Stay tuned. All right. So thanks for that, man. Thank you again for the super chat. Going back to the 308 versus 556 debate, however, on Rumble, Mr. Riggs won. Caliber, I'm thinking 556 for urban and 308 for rural. I always have a rural. Anyway, you get what I'm saying. And that makes sense. I think that really does make sense. Strategic missed calls 30-6, son. There you go. Eddie McMuffin 89. What's my favorite barrel length for 30? Oh my God, if I could speak, for 300 blackout, 9 inches, 8.5 to 9 inches is probably my favorite barrel length for 300 blackout, just because you get that full powder burn. If you want to throw a suppressor on it, you don't have to worry about so much as a big muzzle flash, again, because of that full powder burn. And that's how I feel about that. All right. Cody Blees again, Legacy Productions. I have the Stag Arm Spectrum in OD Green on order. Do you know if the Spectrum rifles are just different colors of the Stag 15, or are these completely new guns? I think they're completely new designs. Well, I can't say a new design, but I think they are completely new. So, there's that. All right. AK Ted Clint, it was Hollow Sun. No release data yet on the night vision or thermal scopes. So yeah, going back to what was released at SHOT Show, can't say released, but teased at SHOT Show for Hollow Sun are their optics integrating night vision and thermal for a very affordable price when you're talking about that sub $1,000. And I think that stuff is cool. Again, I did actually get to test the stuff while at SHOT. We got some pretty cool video of that, video content. So if you want to go see that, we have that available. Hollow Sun, they're breaking the mold on something there. So that is really cool stuff. Let me get back over to the live chat really quick. I know a couple of you guys have been over here, and I don't want to miss out on talking to you guys. So let me just scroll for a little bit. I'll get to a couple of the earlier ones here in just a moment. And here we go. Nick Good. What's up, man? What's good? What are your thoughts on the Kimber TLE RL2 and the Kimber Warrior? So, I was also gifted a Kimber CDP2 also. Forgot about that. That one was an earlier Kimber that never malfunctioned on me. Kimber became really high in demand and then started having quality control issues. And from what I understand, they've done better recently. And as far as the TLE RL2 and the Kimber Warrior go, I honestly don't know. Nick, I'm not too sure. As far as my thoughts on the two go, I don't have experience with either one of those. I've got experience with Kimber as a manufacturer, but not with these two specific firearms and not with these two specific firearms side by side. So I can't really give you like an honest opinion on that. All right. So there you go. Rusty Shackelford is coming in with actual factual information here. The 1911 was used at the hot gates like in 300, and that is absolutely correct. I mean, SIG actually memorializes that in their Spartan gripped 1911. So, there's that. Rusty Shackelford is absolutely correct that Leonidas himself used the 1911. So it's a wonder, though, they didn't win. Anyway, continuing on. Let's see here. Good question, Mansford on Twitch. Clint, just tried to buy some ammo from Classic. Turns out you don't ship to California. Are there plans to change that? If we can figure it out, we will. But California is very strict on a lot of different policies when it comes to ammo and it comes to hazard classifications and shipping hazardous materials. And it becomes very problematic, so much so that it's almost like, I hate to say this, but not worth it at the end of the day. California really complicates things. So where exactly do you live in California? Because if you live close to the border, you can maybe have it shipped to a friendly state. If you find an FFL can you not have it shipped to an FFL? I thought that's what the thing was. I think you can have it shipped to an FFL. But there you go. So, Robert, what's up? So can anyone answer the damn question? What was the question? I don't know. Nick, now you do have if you guys, I actually don't know if it's out yet. Yeah, it just came out. The top 5 guns of 2023, top 5 AR-15s of 2023. I talk about the Daniel Defense M4A1, specifically the M4A1R3, and how I don't have any shooting experience with that. I am proud to say that that's going to end soon. Let's just say Daniel Defense saw the video because I sent it to them, and I'm picking one up. I'm getting one. I said, screw it. Look, I need one. You guys, for whatever reason, maybe we don't move enough of y'all's product. Whatever. It's not like I don't promote them enough. I mean, there's a damn Mark 12. Anyway, and so I'm picking one up, and I'm going to run the shit out of it. You're probably going to hear about it as much as you hear about the Mark 18. And my thoughts on the M4A1, we have a couple of those. We've offered one of those at CF contests. I think we'll do another M4A1, build out, maybe with like a 37 millimeter flare launcher or something like that, just for fun. But I will say the M4A1 is actually a really cool rifle. I like it a lot. So there you go. See a super chat coming in on Rumble. That is awesome. Thank you guys so much. From Professor Blake. Professor Blake Poo Ass Blaster 3000. Thanks for tuning in, man. He says he cannot wait to get his 308 Wyndham and 6.5 Creedmoor Diamondback and Geisley Super Duty. Well, you got yourself one hell of a bang up kit there, man. All of those are going to be awesome, and I can't wait for you to get those either. That's awesome. All right. So there you go. Did anybody figure out what the question was? Oh, Nick, you're talking about the Colt M4A1. Also really cool. That one's more similar. Colt makes the or FN also makes the clones that are really, really cool. But Colt M4A1s, those are the ones with the carbon length rails, also not the RIS2 rails that you see like on the Daniel Defenses. Overall, just awesome. I mean, the M4A1 is just really damn cool, and that's not much more I can just say. But yeah, I'm still trying to figure out. I think there's some funniness, some fuckery. Damn it! I'm sorry. I mean, sorry. Peppa D's nuts. Look, I have given Daniel Defense plenty of shit. All right. I'm sorry. I'm bad with the cussing on the live streams. Okay. But if I got a couple of free guns out of it, I'd probably consider it. Okay. So I'm just saying. All right. Ryan, you're going to go grill a steak. Have a good night. Hey man, have a good night to you as well. I hope you're cooking it rare. Okay. There you go. Let's see here. I just saw something about crossing the border, 5 to 9. Clint, crossing the border in California with any amount has got to go to an FFL, have a background check to legally be possessed in California. Can someone correct me if I'm wrong? See, that's what I was thinking too. You have to have the ammo. If you purchase it from our site, has to go to, the hell am I trying to say right now? Go to, an FFL. There you go. So there you have that. Let's see here. Saw another super chat come in. Thank you guys so much. Otter, what up, Otter? Thank you. Is 13.7 a good barrel length? I have a small arms, so 13.7. I read that I have a small arms. My bad. I have small arms, so 13.7 helps me a little. Can a pen muzzle thingy, and it's lightweight. What are the cons? So 13.7 is fantastic. 13.7, 13.9, whatever, that little bit of a difference isn't that big of a deal. I guess it doesn't matter in this case, but I will say that that's awesome. So a pinned muzzle device will get it to that overall length as long as the muzzle device that you're utilizing is long enough to get you to that 16-inch mark, right? And it's lightweight. That's awesome. That's exactly what you want. You got a little bit shorter arms. That's completely cool. You want something a little bit more compact and also bringing a lot of the weight closer to you, the shooter, correct? So that's what you want. The cons are to a shorter barreled rifle is the fact that if it's chambered in 5.56, is the fact that you're losing out a lot of the velocity of what the 5.56 is known for, and which makes it a really effective round. However, 13.7 is still a great barrel length. You're still going to be doing just fine with that, especially if you're shooting within most ranges, like 300 yards or so. You're going to be doing just fine. And as long as you're accurate with it, you're capable, you're effective and efficient with that firearm, you can manipulate it well, and you got good training, you're going to love it. You're going to do well. And if you're able to run it, that's what matters. So there you go. I think I answered all of that. What are the cons? Bullet velocity. You lose a little bit of that. Other than that, that's it. I think the pros kind of weigh out the cons in that case. If you're running, if it's something you're not doing a lot of distance shooting with, you're good. You're good. There you go. Your comment's covering up my thumb. All right, cool. So Blue Liberty over here, thanks again for the super chat. Otter and Blue Liberty, when and where can we upload pictures of our collections? First of all, thanks for the super chat. My personal take is maybe you don't want to always upload your personal collection on social media. Granted, my whole life is social media, and sometimes that sucks, right? You know, and what you guys see behind me, what you see in the video room, stuff like that, that's all marketing at the end of the day. That's at least what I'm going to call it here. You will never see me lay out my personal collection and upload that to social. I don't care to do that. I don't care for everybody and their mom and the government to know exactly what I own personally. If there's something here or there that I would like to show off, if there's like a new purchase that I made and I want to be like, oh, hell yeah, this is going into the safe forever and I'm never going to shoot it. Sure, whatever. You know what I mean? Or if it's something I'm running a course with, yeah, I'll show that one particular gun off. I think what's a bigger flex is you putting in work with the gun and showing that off on social instead of actually just uploading a picture of your collection. Don't get me wrong. You might be proud of your collection. You might not have these worries and concerns that I do. In that case, upload it as much as you want. If it's just for my viewing pleasure and you and I can just chit chat about it, Instagram, even though I don't know if I'd really trust that either. But Instagram is fine. I'm not going to, put on blast, all over social media, what was DM'd to me. Unless it's somebody shit talking me, then, oh yeah, I'm going public with that. You know what I'm saying? But again, my little tag, there you go, at Magdump Morgan. It's right. God, every time it's over. I got to remember, this is what you guys see over here. That's me over there. Okay. All right, cool. But right here is where you can find me on Instagram and Twitter and Facebook and everything else. So if you guys want to have a conversation there, you can. I will try my best to get to the DM. Okay. So anyway, let me know if you guys, what your takes are on that. Okay. What Dobie 973 LL, the ATF waiting game is soul crushing. Oh, I thought you were about like ATF waiting game for me to upload something I shouldn't have. But yeah, the ATF waiting game is soul crushing, especially if you've got something in NFA jail, like a silencer, like a short barreled rifle. Again, things that don't belong. Nothing belongs on the NFA because it shouldn't exist. Well, neither should the ATF, but here we are, right? So there you go. Anyway, I get that though. The waiting game does suck. But let's see here. Cody Blees again. Hey y'all on Rumble. What's your favorite obscure gun fact? There's so much history in the 2A community. I want to see if we can't learn some new things. Mine is the MP5 is the gun that appears in most movies. Did you also know that the MP5 was actually designed in the 1960s and was actually a very well kept secret until the Iranian embassy hostage situation? And of course, it became very famous, notorious even during that siege. And of course, you actually noticed the big mag light sitting on top of the MP5 during that time. I'm sure I can pull up an image of it and share that. MP5 Iranian hostage or embassy. Go to images, and I want to find, yeah. So here you go. So this is, let me make sure nothing is inappropriate that's on Google Images right now that I just shared. So that way I can show you guys really quick what I am talking about, because it is actually something really, really cool. And the hell's going on, StreamYard? There you go. Okay. And new layout, cancel. Where is it? There we go. And where the hell, how do I add? I don't know what it's doing. Is it working? Is it showing up? No, it's not. Okay. Hold on one second, guys. Well, oh, there it is. Present. There we go. Let's see here. Okay, I want to show. Bam. This is pretty cool. So that right there is what I'm talking about. Image of the P5 with the little mag light adapter on it. That thing is pretty freaking cool. Now that is pretty much ultimately how you attached a light, uh, well, to your little SMG, back in the day, back in the 1980s, and so that was something that I thought was really cool, and if you look at the images that exist out there, if I can pull this one up here, I had to pull up a different site. But anyway, that image, I'm sure you guys have all seen it where, the guy is coming down the building and can it will not enlarge the photo. Like, what the hell? But anyway, ultimately, what you see is that guy, scaling the wall. He's rappelling down. He's got the light on top and everything. He's got the gas mask. They're all suited up. I just thought it was really, really cool to see that. And that's a legit thing. That's not like just somebody taping a mag light to the top of their gun. No, that's a legitimate thing that was made back in the day, which was, really, really cool. So there you go. But anyway, so as far as like obscure gun facts go, um, I mean, off the top of my head, there's a lot more people killed each year by the government than they are firearms. So there's that, but I don't think that's that obscure. But anyway, let's see. Ghost Shadow, thanks for the super chat. ATF pulled all your gun records. First time you said ATF sucks. They can pull all the records. That doesn't mean they're going to pull every gun I own. I probably shouldn't have said that, but anyway, um, again, let's see here. Jeremy Scott, thank you for the super chat. I saw your video on the Panzer BP-12. Was so impressed and bought one. The BP-12 is really cool. That gun, it blows my mind. It's bullpup 12 gauge shotgun, semi-auto. What more could you ask for? And it's magazine fed. It's a lot of fun. So there you go. But thank you so much, Otter. Firstly, answer this in your helmet behind you. But what advice can you give to a new gun owner who spent too much money on a fancy gun, even though she hardly knows anything other than how to be safe with it? Thanks, thanks. All right, fine. There you go. And now here we are LARPing on the live stream. All right, let's go ahead and put the Ear Pro on though. These are really basic 3M pill tours. Things are gonna get weird now because I'm not gonna be able to really hear myself. Um, we'll do a helmet setup video soon. Uh, we have done a helmet setup video. Well, we'll talk about an update to this because I like the PVS 14 and everything, but I think I need an update. You know what I mean? But anyway, so Otter, to answer your question, first of all, thank you for the super chat. Um, what advice can you give to a new gun owner who spent too much money on a fancy gun, even though she hardly knows anything other than how to be safe with it? So, first of all, my question is, what gun is it, right? Secondly, my best advice is get good with it. If you're regretting the purchase, you might take a little bit of a loss, but you could also sell it. You can get rid of it and replace that with something else a little bit more budget friendly, and then invest in some training, some ammunition, whatever else it might be. I don't know exactly what firearm it is that you might be talking about, but hey, that's okay. I think this can kind of go, you know, broad spectrum here, or kind of cover it all. So anyway, that would be my advice to you: is ultimately, if you're not happy with it, you regret it, sell it, and then take those funds, purchase something you actually will be happy with at the end of the day. If you're not proud of something that you own, get rid of it. Kind of like it took me a long time, but I actually worked at getting a vehicle, my Forerunner, that I absolutely love. And I'm the kind of guy that as I'm walking away from it in a parking lot, I like to look back and be like, damn, I'm proud of that. You know what I mean? And I've had cars in the past where I wasn't that. And so, get something that you'll be proud of. Okay. Go ahead and pop this back off. By the way, I got to hand it to Guard Dog. This is actually a really comfortable helmet. You might not be able to see all that well. I'll try to show the lighting, get up in there. But the padding on this is really nice. It's not just like some basic shit or whatever. My buddy Tyler, You brought it on yourself, bro, because he just texted me, and, let me put this back, hold on. Yeah, you brought it on yourself, man. He said, "If you talk shit about my Mustang, I'll fight you." And I'm glad you sent me the video earlier of it actually running. I know that's a rare thing for your Mustang, um, for it to actually be working and whatnot. So, congratulations, bro, for that one time that it worked. Anyway, like I said, be proud of something you own and not something you have to leave in a parking lot because it won't start. Anyway, Black Black Walnut Arms, I saw your comment earlier and I just forgot to get back to it. The Radian Ramjet, I always get these ones confused. Radian versus not Radian, but the Radian Ramjet versus the Afterburner. Let me just pull up the Ramjet really quick to make sure I'm talking about the right thing. Radian Ramjet, give me the thing. uh, okay, there we go. So, yes, it's awesome. I mean, so all right. So Ryan has a Glock 45 that he's got the afterburner on and everything, and the Ramjet is it's Ramjet afterburner, whatever collaboration. Okay, and it is like one of the best shooting Glock belt. He's got the Glock precision trigger in it, which again I think is like a $100 upgrade, and for it to be a Glock trigger or performance trigger, not precision, but a Glock performance trigger, every Glock should come factory with this trigger. If this is what the OEM trigger would be, I wouldn't talk so much shit about how crappy Glock triggers are, and I would actually just keep that always. If I was going for something really high performance, obviously I'd get that Timney trigger that I've talked about already. But as far as the Ramjet afterburner goes, love it. Absolutely love it. I'm actually like really envious of the Glock 45 that Ryan built. I want one, but I just don't want to do the same thing that he did because then I'd be copying him and having the exact same gun as him. I got to come up with something a little bit more original. It's kind of why I run SIG, you know what I mean? Anyway, original for the warehouse at least. So there you go. Uh, yeah, going back to what we were talking about before, Justin, it's I've never posted my farms on social media because it is, no one's business what I have. And, you know, I agree with you. Absolutely. So there you go. But anyway, Zach Gore, what's your recommended personal trainer blackout build? I'm thinking BCM upper, arrow lower, but not 100% sure on buffer with subs and supers. Any advice? So, if you want something that's going to run well with subs and supers, you're going to have to look at an adjustable gas block, and you're going to have to look at something that was pretty much designed with that purpose, right? The Sig Rattler, expensive. Grantham just dropped a video on it, but hey, it absolutely works, and it does just that. Even the honey badger, yes, it does just that. You can definitely build one out to do that as well. It just might cost a little bit, but again, not a huge deal, right? So, again, a short barrel for a PDW, obviously, for a little personal defense firearm. I've already talked about like my favorite barrel length between that 8.5 to 9 inches, anywhere between 8.5 to 9.5 inches. I really love. Wow, phrasing on that one. Anyway, 8.5 to 9.5 inches for 300 blackout barrel length is what I really love. That's I think ideal. But for something that you might want to fit off body carry, something like that, again for personal protection, you might want to go a little bit shorter than that. And that's where that 5.5 inch for the Sig Rattler comes into play. That's where that 7 inch gun comes into play, something like that. So, that's how I feel about that. BCM, BCM and Arrow, you can't go wrong. BCM especially, just proven, reliable, quality stuff from BCM. All right. So there you go. Um, Black Walnut, what's your profile name in mid tier snobs? It's actually my personal Facebook. I'm in mid tier gun snobs there. It's just Morgan, I think. Um, I think that's Tyler. It left me because you left the lights on, you jackass. I didn't leave the lights on. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. Why would I leave the lights on? You're not making any sense, bro. All right. Anyway, so if you guys aren't familiar, on Facebook, there is a Facebook group out there called Mid Tier Gun Snobs. And if you want to go in for a pretty hilarious time, I would definitely recommend checking it out. And I just want to go to my groups. I'm sure if I just pull up my notifications, I'll see something from Mid Tier Gun Snobs or not. I don't really know Facebook all that well, though. So I'm going to go find groups and mid-tier snobs. There it is. Don't be poor. Mid-tier snobs. Yeah, I am in here just as Clint Morgan. So there you go. All right. Oh man. Anyway, um, Nick, you're wanting to know if I believe or if I think the military should use hollow points instead of FMJ. It depends on the application. Yes and no. All right. So that's how I feel about that. Possibly my favorite YouTube handle. There it is. There you go. Let's see here on Twitch. Ghillie Shooter and FHL is brutal. Sometimes you can get a visitation, conjugal visits, if you're super lucky and they have an indoor range. I did that my first NFA purchase at Eagle Gun Range in Concord. They let me have conjugal visits with my SBR and Yankee Hill silencer. But anyway, Carson, thank you for the super chat. You're wanting to know best home defense caliber, home defense gun build 300 blackout. 300 blackout shorty. You can't go wrong with it, right? It just makes sense. That's the entire purpose of that cartridge, and that is exactly what I would recommend. So there you go. All right. Let me scroll back a little bit though, because I know I definitely missed some chats earlier. Um, uh, Robert, so I think you were trolling earlier, but here it is. Yes, you're mad. That's you didn't spell "you're" correct in this application. It's the Youre with the apostrophe there. So anyway, Matt, I'm trying to get an answer. This is a Christian country, and is typically used before a vowel. This is a Christian country. Anyway, so if it is, why do we need guns besides hunting? Because, well, as a Christian, I recognize that evil exists, and it states in the Bible actually quite simply too. Sell your cloak, buy a sword, that type of stuff. Also, train my hands for what is it? Prepare my fingers for battle, train my hands for war. Evil exists, and I want the means to combat evil very effectively. So much so that it's actually overwhelming for evil to even fight back. So yeah, that's how I feel about that. All right, but I think you mentioned you were trolling earlier, so there you go. Anyway, Otter again in the super chats over here. Thank you so much. Last question. The helmet looked great, by the way. Appreciate it. But why are short barrels like 13.7 illegal? Oh, let's talk about that. Doesn't make the bullet move slower. Okay, so there was a saying back in the 1930s called the National Firearms Act. The National Firearms Act ultimately outlawed, or I can't say outlaw, it ultimately made registration necessary in order to legally own something that had a shorter barrel of 16 inches for rifles and 18 inches for shotguns. The thought process behind this was because at that point in time, there were so many criminals utilizing short-barreled rifles. John Dillinger, one of his personal favorites was the Thompson submachine gun, and of course, what I thought was beautiful, that cut down to like 14 inches Browning automatic rifle. Okay, just go watch the movie Public Enemy #1, and you'll see these two very infamous weapons being utilized by him. He made them infamous in that case, in this aspect, right? Both of these weapons, however, also utilized in World War II and World War One, and did great things, like killing Nazis. So anyway, um, so why were they made illegal? Well, it was another crime that can be stacked on top of the other many crimes that were already being committed by these criminals. So therefore, you also ultimately made it virtually impossible to own because they put a $200 additional tax on the purchase of these firearms. So if you wanted to legally obtain one of these firearms at that point in time, the 1930s, $200 was like a lot more money. I don't know cost of inflation and everything else, adjust for inflation and everything. I don't know. But ultimately it was just made as an additional crime to be put, or a different additional law to be made to make another offense on these criminals that were already breaking the law, so that way you could throw them into jail for even longer, and hopefully they'd stay in jail for even longer, right? That was really the mindset, and it's also another source of revenue for the already United States government, for the already thieving United States government. So 16 inches, what was the math behind that? I'll be honest with you, I don't know. I just know it pisses me off. So 16 inches is the legal barrel length requirement to not be considered a National Firearms Act firearm, 18 inches for a shotgun. And silencers were also added to this, which is absolutely ridiculous because at the end of the day, they're a safety device, they're a muffler, just like what your car has on the back of it. So whatever. Anyway, and Slam dunk. M1 carbine was 16 inches. That's why. It used to be 18 for rifles too. There you go. I don't know if that's true or not, but I'll take it. All right. Well, true in regards to the application of the law. Okay. But thank you, Otter, again for the super chat. Appreciate it. And there you have it. And yes, you do lose velocity in a shorter barrel. So I know, but it's the entire premise of being able to easily conceal something with a shorter barrel, which makes it more detrimental and more of a negative effect on society, at least in the eyes of the ATF, which again, it doesn't. So there you go. I'm unknown in the 1930s, $200 then is a little over $3,600 now. So imagine you wanted to buy a $1,500 short barreled rifle and you'd have to spend $3,600 in taxes just to be able to own it. Or let's say you wanted to pick up just a fun 22 suppressor for $300, $3,600 just to own it. Yeah, that's ridiculous. 10 years for a piece of plastic. Yeah, Otter, exactly. 10 years for a piece of plastic is wild. That's yeah, and I'm sure for a lot of us out there, it'd be more than 10 years because it's 10 years per infraction. So, there you go. Wow. Oh, that's frustrating. That is so frustrating, but there you go. My source is Funbusters. Oh, that's great. Anyway, Nate's memes, is it really tyranny if, they get the people to go along with it? Yeah, yeah, it is, simply because they're also using the ignorance and misleading people. So, by utilizing, you know, not factual information and utilizing perhaps even media, especially today, to mislead people into thinking that a pistol brace causes fully automatic fire of a firearm, that's tyranny. Absolutely, because you're ultimately lying to your constituents to get them to believe that what you are doing is the right thing and good for society, when ultimately all you're doing is manipulating them into becoming felons. Okay, so screw that. I remember not to use the F word. All right, there you go. So anyway, let's see here. Fog Battleship Warspite. Nice. Hey, Clint, hope you are doing well. Two questions. One, what would you mod your PTRG3 with? Question two, SIG M11A1 or HK UPSB1? Also, thoughts on the upcoming PTR 63. First of all, upcoming PTR 63. This is the, yeah, that's that one. Yep, yep. Thoughts are that's really freaking cool, and I want one. And as far as the PTR G3, I removed the factory rail, put an M-lock rail on it. I actually don't have that PTR anymore. I actually regret getting rid of it. I just priorities change. I wanted something different, and I really do regret getting rid of that. I love that gun, and I just said, oh, I'm not really shooting it that much. I'll do something different with it. Yeah. Oh, well, here you are. Anyway, and as far as the SIGM 11A1, I think I had a question like this before. The SIGM 11A1 versus the HK UPS V1, which HK UPS V1, oh Lord, that that's not the officers of the university. That's not what I want. UPS. Oh God. Okay, let's take a look. Now we are here. Is that ultimately the Mark 23? Let me see. USP V1 because that looks big. It's hard to tell by these photos though. I'm not too sure. And I think it's the USP, right? And it said UPS. But anyway, USP V1 USP. The HK USP is known as one of the most sought after, reliable, proven firearms ever made. You can't go wrong with it. The M11A1 based off of that. I mean, dude, these are hard questions because they're similar enough to be compared, but they're different enough to want both of them for different applications, right? So it really is a difficult question. And I don't know. I don't know. Since I don't have a lot of experience with either one of them, I'm just going to go with HK just because it's HK and they love us, right? So there you go. Anyway, oh man, dude, you are hilarious to be undercover with the Fed boy Kaya. You got me. Yeah, definitely. Anyway, you guys didn't see me in my sunglasses and crew cut and looking like a what do they call those frat boys? You know, on January 6th, whatever. I don't know. That's that's just hilarious. Oh my god. Oh, anyway, fog battle. Honestly, looking at both, got stuff for the M11A1. Well, you know, I think you answered your own question there. There you go. So, let's see here. Just don't call Kaya Chad. Oh my god, you guys are freaking hilarious. But let's see here. Going back to some of the super chats. Christopher Plata, Clint, could we be best friends? Oh, yeah, sure, dude. Let's be best friends. BFS forever here. Thank you for the super chat, man. Nate's memes. What do you think of the DevTech ballistic helmet? I don't, you know, the only ballistic helmet that I've actually like shot and worn at different functions and events and things like that is this one by Guard Dog. So DevTech makes, you know, something that I think is really, really cool. You look like a stormtrooper, right? Um, and I think people have tested these things and shot them. I think they're 3A protection. They offer the whole face protection and everything. That is what we're talking about, right? The, I mean, it looks freaking cool, and yeah, that's yeah. So uh, actually, let's see. They are you talking? There's a couple of different ones, right? So there's the ballistic helmet. Their website is very weird, but anyway, yeah, if you're talking about the one with the face, I've never worn one. I don't know how comfortable it is to breathe. I don't know how comfortable it is to see out of it. I don't know. I don't know much about it other than it looks cool. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, look up the DevTech ballistic helmet. You'll see it. Just type it in on YouTube. You'll see different videos come up about it. Pretty awesome. And you know, I'd love to try it. So there you go. I didn't mean to click on that again, but yeah, sure, Chris, we'll be best friends. There you go. Oh man, about 8:33 right now. Okay, cool. So we'll keep going to about 9 or so. I think that'll about 30 minutes or whatever. So that sounds good. Let's see here. Tactine. I need a gun because the streets are filled with crazed junkies who attack people for things to sell for their fixes. If this person is too insanely ignorant to comprehend this, just stay under your rock. I think you're talking about Robert's question earlier. And are you in Nancy Pelosi's San Francisco? Is that where you're at? I'm curious. But your environment will dictate what you deem, or I am at the end of the day, you dictate what you deem necessary it is to protect you and your loved ones. And if your environment is hostile like that, then yeah, maybe having a maybe having something with a decent capacity and power to it isn't a bad idea, right? So there you go. But anyway, um, I'm not even whatever. Okay, Val Hall, thank you, man, for the super chat. Appreciate that. Uh, there you go. Black Walnut Arms, base side is showing you every. I appreciate it, guys. Thank you. Based whatnot. These are just my personal thoughts and convictions and what I believe, and so that's how I feel about it. And so What's this Pepe de Nuts? Did you know that there's an app to track where people poo on the streets of San Francisco? Is this is this real life? Is that for real? Oh man. No, we didn't kick you out, Robert. But that right there is that's wild. That's wild. Yeah, yeah, I'm glad also don't need that. You're 100% about that. Jesus. Man. The rifle scope that we have on the Barrett in the thumbnail, John Smith. Hey, just because of the thumbnail, cheers to you, all right? Mm, it is that's the Leupold Mark 5 HD. I think that's the 5 to 25, and it's it's a badass scope. I actually have the Mark 5 HD on the Sig Spear sitting next to me. I'll show you guys. Um, I want to show you not the gun, just the optics. This is gonna be kind of funny. I need to watch this screen. Make sure I don't. Go. And yeah, there's no way. Oh shit! Put the muzzle down. Okay, so yeah, the Leupold Mark 5 HD is a beautiful optic. It is definitely probably one of my favorite optics. This one right here is the 2 to 12. Is that what this one is, or 2 to 10? 2 to 10, 2 to 10, and it's fantastic. They do a great job with it, and the glass is super clear. 10 out of 10 would recommend. It is expensive though, and on the Sig Spear, it's a chunky boy, but it is really really nice. All right, Eric, you always make these. This is a difficult question. All right, Eric, let's get into it. Let's have some fun. Eric Wynn, thank you so much for the super chat. Appreciate it. 16-inch, 556 MCX BLT, LMT, or the LWRCA 5, and why? For price, um, LWRCA 5. For monolithic upper receiver, the LMT. For accuracy, probably the LMT. For the only reason that I like the Spear LT a lot, right? It's just I think it still has some kinks to be worked out. And Rumble, I see you. I haven't forgotten about you. All right. So there you go. And I'll get to you guys in a moment. But I think I kind of like answered the question for the most part about which one and kind of why. The LMT is, do you still have the direct impingement options and things like that, which are going to be inherently a little bit more accurate than what piston driven guns are. Oh, let me just see here. Let me just go to LMT Defense. Let me. Yes, I'm over 18 years of age. Are you kidding me? Uh, God, their guns are just so freaking neat. The thing about LMT and their Mars rifles is they're not like all that publicized when it comes to you know um uh, like large force military use. However, they are used a lot in the operations we don't hear about, which is really cool. When I've talked to the guys over at LMT, Nick Lewis, who's over LMT AT, which is the silencer side of things, and I've talked with Joe over there, Joe Haney. Who's awesome. He's on the LMT with the rifle, the firearm side of things. Um, they're just fantastic people, and I think you'll probably get better accuracy out of the LMT. If accuracy is what you're going for, because you have the direct impingement option there, inherently it's going to be a little bit more accurate than a piston-driven gun because there's less moving parts on the barrel. You know, so but if you still want that short stroke piston-driven design and a good price, the LWRCA 5 is a good option. However, it's got more proprietary parts also, like with the rail and whatnot. LMT kind of does, but the trade-off is it's monolithic. The upper receiver and the rail are all one piece. I mean, that is the strongest solution at the end of the day, right? And then the MCX Spear, modularity is there, obviously, and it is again a good gun. All of these have the ambidextrous everything that I could ask for. So it's like, you know, that's a hard one. I think honestly, what I need to do is do a side by side of this exact topic, the Spear LT versus LMT, let's just say the Mars L 556 and the LWRC A5, and run that as a test. In fact, I lost my, I got a pen, and my weekly meetings are on Wednesday for when we start pitching content ideas and things like that. And I'm going to take in my little notebook here, as I've done this in the past also, and I just want to say Spear LT. Again, you guys are helping me out, giving me good ideas too. Versus LMT versus LWRCI A5. Is that a video you guys would like to see? I mean, none of those guns are cheap at the end of the day. They're all very high quality firearms, and I think they're all really good firearms. So, just let me know. Robert, we love you too, man. All right. 226 is also not outdated. Absolutely. But there you go. Um, hmm, Travis Goff. Clint, why is it that it takes so damn long to receive the suppressor after buying it and then paying the $200 tax stamp? Because the government doesn't want you to exercise your Second Amendment right and have a good time doing it. In actuality, there's a lot of those submissions that come in, Form 1s, Form 4s, all sorts of different forms that need to be approved by the ATF. And yes, they are quick to cash your check, obviously. If you've ever played that game, you know that they'll cash your check really quick. But when it comes to actually approving your paperwork, it could take anywhere upwards to a whole year, even a year plus. I know that the times have gotten better, but we've got agents that are getting overwhelmed with the amount of paperwork coming in, and that's that. That's why it takes so long. Now, a lot of them might be hesitant to actually approve. A lot of them might be. There's also all the forms to transfer NFA items, across state lines and stuff like that for temporary movement, permanent movement, residency change, stuff like that. So you've got all these different forms that are, coming in and swamping and overloading these probably already overworked employees. I'm not going to say they're overworked. I'm just going to say they got a lot of work to do, but they're probably going to take their time getting it. Okay. Because at the end of the day, you already know they're going to take their 3 breaks and a lunch, and they're going to take the weekends off, and they don't give a shit about you. It's the government. So there you go. All right. That's why it takes it so long. Geo, you're so sweet. But anyway, looks very, very tactical. There you go. I also saw on Rumble, this says Cody there. It says, well, goodbye, YouTube. Clint handled a gun, the greatest YouTube crime you can commit. On a live stream, it is at least, which is pretty funny, right? Let's see here. Valhall. Valhall. It's fun to say fast. I'm sorry. Budget to performance pistol recommendations. Oh man. Now that's the whole video in of itself. Oh man. Where to start? Basic Glock. Can't go wrong there. Then you can get up to the performance models. Then you can go into something like Shadow Systems. Then you can move into something like the SIG line. Then you can get into the SIG. Somebody was asking about the X10, which I haven't really which I haven't have like a lot of time with just yet. Um, so yeah, well, that's I appreciate the super chat, but that is a whole topic, and we only got about 15 minutes left or so. So there's a lot of that. So just stay tuned. All right, just stay tuned. Okay. Eric Wynn, thank you again for the super chat. Would be a great video. The A5 versus the LT versus the LMT. I think so too. All right, I think so too. Let's see here. 5-9 from about a week ago, PSA had a special, but the upper for the 199, the frame for 49, Glock 19 clone for 249. I mean, there's that, right? So there you go. And throw in a V7 Harbinger to that list. The other guns, though, are 5.56 guns. The V7, though, 7.62. It's 308. So it's not exactly fair, but I do wanna throw that on the list. We covered that one in Extraction 2, the top 5 guns from Extraction 2. I thought it was pretty cool that they featured an AR-10 in the movie, even though the sound didn't really match up, but, whatever that. So there you go. Anyway, let's see here. Oh, man, I wanna make sure I'm getting to all of you guys here, as much as I can at least. Was there something else on Rumble too? Um, Only one 5. I bought a Delton for my first AR-15. Is it worth upgrading and training on until I can get a better one? There's nothing wrong with Delton. Delton is an affordable AR-15. I've got several friends that did the exact same thing, bought their first AR, which was a Delton, and it still runs very, very well for them today. They like them, they perform well, and that's what matters, right? So there you have it. And, yeah, yeah, it's one of those things where before you upgrade, take a look at the big picture, right? If the rifle is performing well and it's working well and you're good and efficient with it and effective with it, that's great. And instead of maybe upgrading the rifle, which again, there are several different firearms that you could upgrade to that might have better components, better features, so on and so forth. However, I've said it multiple times before, the guy that is trained on the basic bare bones AR-15, but trained, will always outperform the guy with the multi-thousand-dollar Gucci Radian Mod 1. You know what I mean? That's just gonna happen. They will always outperform each other. It just comes down to training. Granted, yes, equipment can help, but, so maybe look at training, maybe look at optics or something like that, so something a little bit different. But, maybe you want the complete ambidextrous controls like what I do, and that's why I'm going and I'm getting an M4A1R3, So there you go. But anyway, Valhalla talking about Henry lever actions, which is great because, there's a few right there. Uh, I wanted a Henry lever action for a good bit. Good question. I've really seen them trialed. Uh, let's see. What was the question? Because I'm obviously missing it now. Big fan for you, Metroling. I love you. Ah, crap. I don't know what the question was. Henry Classic 22s are awesome. There we go. Okay, Clint, what do you think about a Henry H001 Henry lever action? You're not gonna go wrong with Henry. The guns are great. I absolutely love all of them that I have. I'm gonna be doing a little bit more too because we actually haven't covered like 22 Winchester Magnum, and we haven't covered 17 HMR, and I got the ammo. I'm now just gonna pick up a couple of Henrys to cover and talk about them. So I think they'll be a lot of fun, but you just can't go wrong with them. All right. So there you go. Okay. Really quick, Clint, take some hair off the top, please. You don't you guys don't like me with longer hair? Don't worry. I got drill in a couple weeks, so I'll have to, shave and look like a Marine again soon. Okay. So there you go. But anyway, I saw another one too. Yes, Otter, Sons of Liberty is a good brand. The CO guy seems legit. Yeah, Sons of Liberty makes a really good rifle, and I there's no issue there whatsoever. So definitely think that they've got a good reputation and wouldn't mind having one personally. There you go. Um, Michael, I do. I've got a Chow Lab mix. All right, got a Chow Lab mix, and I've had show the dog. She's upstairs. She's upstairs napping. So there you go. But you guys talking about the dog? Yeah, I've got a Black Lab Chow mix. She'll be 13 years old. Um, yeah, 13 years old this year, which blows my mind. And she still likes to chase me out in the yard and everything. Got her on a good diet, all that type of stuff. I did have an American Bulldog and a little pit mix, and I miss them. But I got some personal things going on in my life. Again, don't have that. So, I don't have those, unfortunately, but I miss them. But I did, I've got my dog that I've had ever since she was a puppy, my Chow Lab mix. I rescued her as a puppy. She was like really mangy and stuff like that. It was really bad. I spent the money on getting her all medicated and her health up, and she's now turning 13 years old this year. So I'm really happy about that. Next time, I'll make sure that I have her down here in the bunker with me. All right. So there you go. Anyway, um, let's see here. A few of more of them. I saw a couple more super chats come in. I want to make sure I don't miss you guys there. Uh, okay, cool. So yeah, go back to the whole budget to performance Missile recommendations, got it. We talked a little bit about that. Again, I think that's just gonna be a whole video. I know Kaya recently did a video about, like budget Glock versus Gucci Glock, something like that, so you can check that video out if you're curious. But let's get over here to Overwrought. Hey there, did y'all ever reach out to SIG about the over-insertion issue on the Spear? Yeah, they fixed it. They fixed it, we have it back, and it's running great. We don't know really what the issue was, but it's handled, it's taken care of. They fixed it within, like, a week. So again, it's hard to say, like, I think I personally believe, especially with the amount of exposure that that video got and other people like Brandon Herrera, he had the same issue with his, apparently. And so, I'm gonna say even without the YouTube status that we have, that if you're just a customer that has a SIG spear and you're getting the same issue, if you contact SIG, I'm sure they'll take care of it in the same manner, in the same fashion that they handled it for us. If they don't, then I think that's pretty I think that's pretty messed up, and, as a manufacturer, they should be called out for it. However, if they handle it in the same fashion, doesn't matter if you've got a YouTube following or not, great, that's awesome, and I applaud them for that. Look, you know, I'm again, I'll call them out for it if that's the case, but at the same time, I can't expect everybody to be perfect, right? I know I'm not by a long shot, but for those that are willing to admit their mistakes and they go back and correct them, especially in this case, a business, a manufacturer sells a bad faulty product, whatever, and they take it back, fix it, get it back to you, and it does what it's supposed to do and performs well, I applaud them for it. Okay. So, that's how I feel about that. So, um, Freedom Vendor 76. So I don't have any personal feedback on GQ Armory other than I need to actually meet them at one of these shows because they make some pretty impressive stuff, and I would recommend GQ Armory just based off of looks. Again, that's not always a fair assumption because I don't have personal experience. GQ, you could also imagine too, the price goes along with the name. So, there's that. But yeah, we'll be in contact because I think that would be pretty cool. Same thing. I'm in communication with Type A Firearms, BG Defense, and they again they look real nice. We need to get them on the channel, right? So there you go. Oh man, Nate's memes. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you again, Freedom Vendor 76 for the super chat as well. But any chance to review a DevTech headcan on the on the channel? Yeah, maybe we could collaborate with them and offer it as a something on CF contest too. Do a complete like stormtrooper esque Mandalorian giveaway. We would totally get like slapped though for some sort of I don't know, but anyway, why do I keep giving you any attention, Robert? You're married to Max, your dog. I damn it. Damn it. Yes, that is pretty weird. I see you on it. Anyway, oh man, so Pippity's nuts. What are my thoughts on retro rifles? I think they're awesome. I love talking about Type A firearms, BG Defense. They make the Blood Diamond Colt, the Blood Diamond M4A1 setup loadout. They also make a clone of Gordon's rifle and Gary Gordon, Gordy, and that's just really, really cool. If you guys know what I'm talking about, Black Hawk Down, the sniper team that went in, Type A firearms, they were doing like this combo thing where if you purchased Gordon's clone M4, then you also get the opportunity to purchase Randy Schugart's M14 clone also. And I'm over here like, dude, we got to work together because one of my favorite giveaway to date was our Black Hawk Down M14. I built that out with Fulton Armory, with Aimpoint, to actually clone Randy Schugart's M14 because of what he did. Medal of Honor recipient. Again, this guy, him and Gordon knew that they were on a one-way ticket to, rescue a downed pilot during Gothic Serpent, which is Black Hawk Down, and just incredible acts of heroism. And I felt a connection to that giveaway, loved it, and the rifle shot beautifully. And I do love the M14. I'll talk shit about it all day, just because it's fun. but the M14 I think is a fabulous rifle. I do love it. Wouldn't be my first pick for like, shit hits the fan or anything like that. I do believe there are far greater rifles out there, but there's something about the nostalgia. There's the overall cool factor of the M14. Anyway, M16 A1s, A2s, the Colt retro builds, I think are really freaking cool. So my thoughts on them, they're a lot of fun. What's not a lot of fun are the exorbitant amounts of money that you have to pay to like get that look. That's what I think is pretty funny. So there you go. Apollo is asking, why am I not making as many appearances in videos? I took a step back a little bit, not by much, because I'm doing a lot still, just not as intimately and in your face like every day on YouTube. But I'm still here doing this. I'm working behind the scenes a little bit with more manufacturers and trying to get more stuff onto the channel, onto the website, and just got a lot going on right now. So I just needed a little bit of a break. And you guys, don't be afraid to take some time for yourself if you're in a position where you can. All right. But anyway, let me get to a couple more of the super chats. Mark 25, 226 versus 320. Thank you, Ryan Grunstaff. This will be pretty good. As a sidearm, our 226 is outdated now. Picking a sidearm and 226s are not outdated. And trying to decide between modern modularity or proven reliability. And there you have it. That is a difficult debate. The 320 is awesome in the all matter of things. That it's lighter, it's modular, you have better magazine capacity, better aftermarket support. However, there's something about the Mark 25 that is just awesome, right? The 226 is legendary in its own way. And yes, it is a proven reliable pistol, proven reliable sidearm, and one that I think would make a great addition to any collection, to any kit, to any battle rattle, whatever. It's very difficult. But again, the capacity and the modularity of the 320 is something that wins out in my mind overall. That being said, I still want a Mark 25. You know what I mean? So thank you for the super chat there, Ryan. I appreciate it. And here we go, 5 to 9. Clint, if I heard you correctly, you're separated. Thoughts and prayers. God bless. I've been there, never is he. Wouldn't wish it upon my enemy. Yeah, I try not to bring up my personal life too much, but yeah, I do have some stuff going on there, and it's not a good time. So I'll leave it at that. But thank you, I appreciate it. So anyway, Eric, we've actually collaborated with Demo Ranch before, not in person. We had him on the podcast. Was that at SHOT Show? I think it was. Yes, and SHOT Show. I always get these confused. Yes, it was SHOT Show, and that was a lot of fun. But anyway. We do need to get him, out to the warehouse, or us come to him and actually get like on camera in front of one another. That would be pretty good. But there you go. And Rusty, look, man, I don't want to. I want to shoot any gun I can get my hands on, just to say I've done it. With the 4-bore, that scares me. Kentucky Ballistics, if you guys have ever met Scott, I've had the opportunity to hang out with Scott, see him and stuff like that. Great guy. Okay. The dude's built. All right. And looking at the slow motion footage of what that 4-bore did to his shoulder and his arm in that recoil, I feel like I could handle it once. So, there you go. All right. Yeah, exactly. He's insane. I love him too. God bless him that he's still here. You know what I mean? When that entire 50 cal debacle went down with the Serbu that he shot and the piece of metal went into his neck and blew up on him and everything. Be careful about those high pressure loads that you might be buying at the gun show. So, Keith, I see you. Thank you. I appreciate it. And Randy, it's a kid. Rusty, it's a kitten. Yeah. So, I bet, man. I bet it's a kitten. Anyway. Oh man. Yeah, exactly. You know what I'm saying? I'd be dead. That's all there is to it. Anyway. Let's see here. Douglas Kimmons. By the way, if you guys don't know the CF Clips, that's our latest YouTube channel. That's just kind of showing off the fun stuff that we kind of want to make go viral. Taking the clips of like a real climatic scene of one of our videos or something like that. And there's one where we just dropped a new one for the LWRC Reaper Mark II. So if you guys like that gun, you should go check that out. But anyway, there you go. Oh my God, yeah, put a thumb in it. Give it the old Kentucky plug. You know, I got that shirt. I actually have that shirt sitting over there. I work out in it sometimes. There you go. So there you go. Yeah, you guys are pretty funny. I'm trying to stay up with the chat. You guys are coming in hot. Um, I, I think I forgot a little bit about Rumble again. I'm sorry, but new rifle or new 3D printer. Plot twist: with a new 3D printer, you can make a new rifle. So printer go burr. Anyway, oh man. Let's see here. I'm gonna get to just a couple more. It is 9 o'clock now, so you know I'll get to a couple more, like I said, and then one thing I keep forgetting to do every week is going back to the previous live stream to see the comments that have dropped. So before I log out, I'll do that. To see some of last week's comments. But anyway, Rusty Shackelford, how's the recoil on the M82A1 shooting it for the first time on Friday? It's honestly not bad. It really, dude. Look, I am 5'9" and on a light day, 160 pounds. Okay, I can effectively walk and shoot offhand the Barrett M82. It's all about your shooting position and then just making sure you have the upper body strength. The hardest part is literally just maintaining the barrel. Once you start pulling the trigger, the recoil keeps it nice and flat though. That's why whenever you see me mag dump a 50 cal, the hardest part is getting to this. Once I'm here and start pulling the trigger, it does this number for you. And it's easy. I will say that. So if you want to mag dump it offhand, I totally recommend it because you look like a badass, and everybody's like, "Holy crap! Look at wow, you're doing something amazing." And really, you're just again the gun. It recoils enough to let you know you're shooting a 50 cal, but it's not so bad that you're going to be in pain. You know what I mean? It's not. It really isn't that bad. I think I've shot actually some 12 gauge shotguns that've got more recoil than that because of how light they are. The Barrett 50 cal is what, a 30-pound gun with that huge muzzle brake on it, that two chamber brake at the front of it. You'll be fine. The people standing around you might get some of that concussive sound and energy to the dome, but at the end of the day, you'll be good, dude. So yeah, 275 to train. So in other words, you look nothing like Dale. Anyway, yeah, dude, you'll be fine. All right, you'll be good. So there you go. JC6683 on Twitch. Do you know any company that you can recommend cutting the MOS for the Glock 19X? Yeah, there's several different companies out there that will actually give you your cut and all that. And I've got to say, I had mine done, my Glock 19, way back when. Doug Preston, DP. He's local to and, not far from where the warehouse is actually, and that's why I went with him. DP customer, look him up. I still think he's doing his thing. I think, and does great slide cuts and all that type of stuff. So, there you go. Who are some other why am I drawing a blank? I know so many different companies out there. So you can actually send your gun off like the Agency Arms if you want just the slide gun. You can send your gun off the Agency. They do fantastic work. My buddy Trey, he actually works over there now, and which is really cool. So Trey, if you're watching, hey, thanks for the inside scoop about the Glocks utilizing extraction too. That was cool. So there you go. And but Zev does it. All these different manufacturers do custom builds and things. Terran, I think, even does it. So there you go. And yeah, Rusty just says run iron sights. There you go. Stoolman 5, Toolman 6. When is Kaya going fishing? Yeah, we got to plan that. All right, it's going to be a whole event. Okay, look, we're going to be out in the sun. I'm debating on whether or not we should do it offshore or on a boat. I definitely want to do it on a boat. I need to find private property. I know Kaya's not going to watch the live stream, so um, or at least this far into it. So you guys don't mention it on his live stream. But I totally want to have like a little pocket pistol with me, just so he doesn't know. and then I just pull that out and start shooting fish, right? So, um, okay, I'm not being that serious. Or at least, get some firecrackers, take BBs to them, type of stuff. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, like I said, I have to plan all of that. So there you go. All right. Let's see here. John Jackson. Good evening, Clint. First time I get to listen to live ever going to do 6 ARC build. That's awesome, man. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, still a couple hundred of you, and even on Rumble too. Wow. So thank you guys so much for you guys tuning in still and everything. And I appreciate you guys. And C4 Ninja, thanks for answering my questions, my brother. And I love watching your videos. Thank you again. Appreciate you guys. It's humbling how many of you tune in and want to chat and everything. It's awesome. But I mean, I'm sure we'll probably do a 6 ARC build eventually. We put out a lot of content, a lot of videos, and we wanna make sure we keep going with content. And thankfully, the firearms industry keeps providing all sorts of different things to provide content on. So I'm sure a 6 ARC build will be done in the future, right? So there you go. Oh, Glock Store does optics cuts too. Thank you, Pepe's Nuts. There you go. Greg, have a good night, man. Keep them on target. Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Um, Joseph Drux, who makes the best 5.56 suppressor that you would recommend? Oh man. So behind me sits a Surefire RC2. Let me get out of the way. Okay, right there. A SOCOM 5.56 RC2 on my 18-inch Mark 12. That silencer is phenomenal. It's a great silencer. Um, there's also some technology out there now, filter technology, thank you, Huxworks, that allows all those gases that usually come back into the system, especially on a DI gun, well, any gun, short stroke, long stroke, piston driven, doesn't matter what it is, those gases are gonna come back into the system, and they're gonna cause gases to get into your face, dirty it, whatever. Um, and that's just the nature of adding a silencer to your gun. It is what it is. However, Huxworks, with their flow-through technologies, allowed a majority of those gases to actually still manage to escape out the front end of the gun, while also maintaining a lightweight design with very complicated, um, baffle design. It's baffle-less, but ultimately, the paths or the canals in which the gases travel through are very complicated and complex, making it take a lot longer to get throughout the end of the muzzle. So therefore, that should reduce sound signature, flash signature, all that type of stuff. Again, depending on barrel length. Because one thing, all right, I'll answer the question like this. It's going to come down to these 2 silencers in my mind. There's so many different silencers out there that I have yet to test. LMT recently brought out the Ion, which is a really nice silencer also. There's Disavowed Group, which I am gonna be researching soon and working on their silencers. Uh, so, you know, there's a lot out there still, but my mind looks at it this way. If you're gonna be shooting low light, night vision, nighttime stuff, and you want to focus mostly on a minimal flash signature, go with the Surefire RC2. If you are more worried about, um, weight and, the gas is coming back into the system and minimal gas coming back into the system and ultimately into the shooter's face, then go with the Huxworks Flow 5.56K for 5.56 silencers. I think that was a long answer to a pretty basic question, but there you go. So, there you have it. Um, honestly, Blacks, what's the difference between the Canik Mate SF and the SFT? I would honestly have to pull up the specs and look. I off the top of my head, I don't know. They are very similar, but you know, I'm sure if I had Adam here, he would, tall Adam, he would definitely give me that answer. There you go. Look, man, like I said, we're not all perfect, all right. And I've actually had gray hairs starting here and a little bit mixed in since I was 24. All right, which is ironically when I bought my first house. So there you go. So there you have it. All right. Um, Robert, bro, the AK is better than AR close up. Yeah, 7.62 by 39 is definitely more preferable. I would rather have 7.62 by 39 over 5.56 in a close quarter situation. That being said, I think 5.56 is a better do all round, right? I would also think I'd rather have 300 blackouts suppressed over 7.62 by 39 in that situation. So there you go. Anyway, uh, but yeah, also over penetration. Yeah. So there you go. Rod is on one. Oh my god. There you go. Yeah, just make sure you get the 30 cal Huxworks flow. That's the Huxworks 762 flow. So flow 762. There you go. And yes, that is awesome. And you guys might be wondering where that is. It's next to my bed. So there it is. Anyway, it's just for men. No, I'm not gonna be doing just for men. However God decides I need to look as far as, hair color, whatever else, I'll let it be. As far as body physique goes, I need to work on that. That's where I'll invest in, all right? But anyway, let's see here. Just saw another super chat come in. I'm only gonna get to a couple more, and then I'm gonna go to last week's live stream and get to some of the comments over there. Nate means, anyone know I don't even know if I should say this on YouTube Live, but the, boys are going to bend starts over and push their asking for a friend. It's only treason if you lose. Yeah, maybe I should be careful about some of these super chats coming in. But, because I pretty much put them all up there, because thank you guys for supporting me and the channel and everything. But, I think that's pretty funny, and I also think I got really mad when I am actually a fan of Hawaiian shirts. I like wearing them quite a bit, believe it or not. I actually haven't worn them recently. I haven't been to the beach in a while, which is kinda sad because I love the beach. But I got really upset when all of a sudden I was wearing a Hawaiian button-up shirt, short sleeve shirt, and I got called racist for it. I had no idea what was happening. I had no idea what was going on. So, that stuff's dumb. Apparently, this flag behind me is also considered racist, um, which again just blows my mind. But here it is. Whatever. Uh, I know I don't need beach for Hawaiian shirts. You know what? Just for shits and gigs. Oh my god. I'll wear I've got one of my retro rifle Hawaiian shirts. I'll wear that next week, all right? I'll wear that and there you go. Woke people for the win. There you go. Beach life, y'all. Absolutely. So there you go. Oh man. All right. I think I'm going to call it here. I want to go back to what was the I want to go ahead and actually pull up last week's. And am I sounding choppy? I'm noticing one of them there. I hope it doesn't sound too choppy. It's probably me just not talking directly into the mic like I should be. So, uh, there you go. Anyway, let me go to last week's live stream and see because I know a couple of people get to the actual comments or get to the video um, later. So I just want to see what some of the comments there. There's not many anyway, and yeah, let's go ahead and sort by newest first here, and let's see if I can do that. So I can actually share screen here with you guys, and let's do it. Share screen. Let's go to a talk. Boom. There you go. So you guys can kind of see what I am talking about here. All right. So there we go. And so here are comments from last week. And let's say we need to do a video on the P320 VTAC, which is the P320 VTAC that I have in my holster right over here. All right. So there you have that. We've also glad to find out you're on Rumble. Subscribe there. Great. Yes, we are streaming on Rumble. There you go. And I see you guys down there also. Thank you for the reminder. The comment section there. Thanks for answering my questions. What handgun would be better for fun shooting and customization? Oh man, there's so many. There's so many out there. Again, I think this is another one I'll have to get back to it. Okay. But let's see here. We were talking a little bit about different battle rifles, SHTF rifles, stuff like that. And Philosophy in War said he would choose a 16-inch AR-10. Sorry, miss, he had to work. That's okay. And Clint, you need to get with the times. You need to check out the FN545. I thought the FNX45 was nice, but the FN45 is an upgrade, which, I don't know how I feel about that. All right. I don't know how I feel about that. The FN 545 being an upgrade, because I love my FNX 45 tactical, but maybe it is. All right. Maybe it is. Well, we'll just have to look and see. All right. So, oh man. Anyway, looking to have Matt on for the 2A talk soon. Pace Clint. Yeah, appreciate it. Yes, I want someone to try to tell me I can't buy an AR-15. That was something that we saw last week that I was talking about. Somebody wanted to introduce a couple of lawyers from like every town and, you know, all those anti-gun organizations. We're trying to say that it's actually illegal to sell AR-15s, which is, again, absolutely ridiculous. So anyway, yeah, I wish somebody would try to come and tell me I can't buy an AR-15. Well, it's nearly the same as what I trained on in the Army, so give me an M16. I won't complain. There you go. But anyway, yeah, I love anybody that had his dad broke him in on a 45 ACP. Just a likable person. Look, man, I'll be honest. I appreciate the comments and all that stuff, but you guys haven't met me. You might like me fine on stream or on video, but the moment you actually have to hold a conversation with me, you might think I'm completely boring, I'm trash, and that's all there is to it. So if that's the case, you know, it is what it is. But anyway, hopefully a couple of you I do get to meet soon. I know Tanner. What was it? You said you might be in town soon, which would be pretty freaking cool if you ask me. And we'll see that. I think that screenshot there is kind of funny. It's just me with my hand up. I didn't realize that till just now also. Anyway, let's go ahead and get back to you guys here. So, yeah, I saw the other chat. He's a minute late. I want my money back from last week too. That's pretty funny. But anyway, last couple here. I saw one more super chat come in. Gio, appreciate everything that you appreciate everything you and Classic do. The GOAT. Yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it again for all the super chats. Appreciate all of the support. Again, thank you guys so much. And I'll go ahead and leave it off there. So one more time, cheers to you guys. Again, Blackout Coffee Company, not a sponsor or anything, but Jared over at Guns and Gadgets, just a great guy. And he's a good friend. And, you know, he's partnered with a coffee company that actually supports the Second Amendment under, you know, unlike a lot of the bro-vet coffee companies that are out there. So there you have it. But I'll leave it off there, guys. Again, thank you all for the new viewers, new commenters, new super chatters, all that. You guys are great. And let me know when the video, you know, ends. Comment down below too. Good night to you, Otter. Good night, Robert. Good night, all of you guys. Comment down below. What are some topics that you would actually like to maybe focus on? I love the Q&A and all that stuff, but maybe one week we actually do kind of like a topic, a discussion. The next week we do Q&A. Next week we do free for all, so on and so on, whatever it might be. But you know, so just let me know, you know, whenever this video drops, which will be here in just a moment. And let's get that going. Cajun a Foal, I think that's all that is. Oh well. Douglas, thank you, appreciate it. But yeah, how's the Henry revolver working? Well for you? It's sorry, YouTube, it is literally right there. It's the end of the stream, whatever. It's doing really well. I love the way this gun shoots. I haven't shot 38 special through it yet, just 357 Magnum, and it's been shooting great. So I'll leave it off there, guys. Thank you again, all of you, for tuning in. God bless you guys. And we'll see you guys next time. And Nate, hope I don't get you in trouble, Clint. You are awesome. Appreciate it again, man. Thank you guys. We'll see you next week. And on Instagram too, I'll try to get to my DMs again. I know I say that every week, but I'll try. See you guys. Have a good night. Till next time.